Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. I am so excited to share this deck with you all today. We are taking a look at one of the coolest and most unique mono green commanders out there, the one and only Fynn the Fangbearer. For just 2 mana, we get this awesome 1/3 warrior with Deathtouch, which is already a great start, but his second ability is where the real fun begins. Whenever a creature we control with Deathtouch deals combat damage to a player, that player gets 2 poison counters. That's right, we're turning all of our Deathtouch creatures into venomous assassins. This deck is all about building a low, to-the-ground, aggressive army of Deathtouchers and using Fynn's ability to quickly and effectively take our opponents out of the game with poison. It's a super fun, proactive strategy that can catch a lot of players off guard. Let's dive in and see how we make it work. Alright, so the core of our strategy is getting on the board fast and with a bunch of efficient Deathtouch creatures. We have an amazing suite of 1 mana all-stars to get the job done. Gnarlwood Dryad starts as a 1/1 with Deathtouch and can become a 3/3 later in the game. The Wasteland Viper is another fantastic 1/2 with Deathtouch, and its Blood Rush ability can be a great combat trick to surprise an opponent. The new Dragon Sniper is an absolute gem, giving us Vigilance, Reach, and Deathtouch all for 1 mana. What a great little utility creature. And the Narnam Renegade is a 1/2 with Deathtouch that can come in with a +1/+1 counter if we've triggered Revolt, which is super easy to do with fetch lands. These little guys are the heart and soul of our early game plan. Okay, so the only thing better than having a few creatures with Deathtouch is having all of our creatures with Deathtouch. This is where our Deathtouch Anthems come in, and they are absolutely critical to the deck's success. The number 1 card you want to see in this deck is Oron Frostfang. This amazing snow snake gives all of our creatures attacking Deathtouch, turning our entire board into a venomous threat. But it gets even better. Whenever any of our creatures deals combat damage to a player, we get to draw a card. It's an Anthem and a massive card draw engine all in one to help our Deathtouchers get through. Nylea, God of the Hunt, is a fantastic addition. As an indestructible enchantment, she gives all of our other creatures trample. And as you probably know, Trample and Deathtouch is an absolutely brutal combination, since we only have to assign 1 point of damage to a blocker to destroy it, and the rest tramples over. So once we've landed a few hits and given our opponents some poison counters, how do we speed up the clock? With Proliferate, of course. This mechanic is so powerful in our deck. The Bloated Contaminator is an absolute all-star. It's a 4/4 with Trample and Toxic, 1 for just 3 mana. And whenever it deals combat damage to a player, we get to Proliferate, adding another poison counter to each opponent. The Contaminant Grafter is another powerhouse, letting us proliferate whenever any of our creatures deal combat damage to a player. Plus, once an opponent has 3 or more poison counters, it draws us a card and ramps us at the end step. And for more passive approach, Evolution Sage is amazing. With its landfall ability, every single land we play lets us proliferate slowly but surely, ticking up the poison count on all of our opponents. Now, if we want to go wide with our Deathtouch plan, we have the perfect Insectoid Swarm to call upon. The one and only Hornet Queen is an absolute powerhouse in this deck. When she enters the battlefield, she brings 4 1/1 flying Deathtouch insect tokens with her. That's 5 Deathtouch bodies from a single card. It's an instant army that can either swing in for a massive 10 poison counters with Fynn on the board, or create an impenetrable wall of blockers that no opponent really wants to attack into. And for a really fun defensive piece, we have Hornet's Nest. It's a 0/2 defender that says whenever it's dealt damage, we create that many 1/1 flying Deathtouch insects. It's a fantastic rattlesnake card that can turn an opponent's big attack into a huge advantage for us. Every great deck needs a way to close out the game, and we have some absolutely spectacular finishers. The most powerful and well-known is, of course, Triumph of the Hordes. For just 4 mana, this sorcery gives all of our creatures +1/+1 trample and infect until the end of the turn. With even a moderately wide board, this is almost always a one-shot knockout. Winning the game on the spot, it's our big green I win button. For a more permanent advantage, we have the Praetor Vorniclex Monstrous Raider. This guy is just incredible here. His first ability doubles any counters we would place on a permanent or player. That means that every time Fynn's ability triggers, our opponents don't get 2 poison counters, they get 4. This cuts the clock in half and makes our commander absurdly lethal. Plus, he halves the counters our opponents would get, which is a nice bonus. Beyond our army of small, efficient Deathtouchers, we also have some big, stompy monsters that can take over the game on their own. Questing Beast is a legendary creature that does it all. It has Vigilance, Deathtouch, and Haste, so it's ready to apply poisons with Fynn on the turn it comes down. It's also incredibly difficult to block and stops our opponents from preventing combat damage. Sirach and Goreclaw is another amazing top-end threat. It gives all of our other creatures trample, which we know is fantastic with Deathtouch, and it buffs our team with a +1/+1 counter and haste when they enter. And for a truly unstoppable finisher, there is Tyrannex Rex. This 8/8 Phyrexian dinosaur can't be countered, has trample, ward 4, and haste, and it comes with toxic 4, meaning it can finish the game all by itself, even without Fynn on the board. So we've talked about doubling our counters with Vorniclex, but what about doubling our triggers? That's where these amazing artifacts come in. The Roaming Throne is new all-star from Lost Caverns of Ixalan. When it enters, we simply choose human or warrior to match Fynn, and from then on, anytime a triggered ability or another creature of that type triggers, it triggers an additional time. That matters every time one of our Deathtouch hit an opponent, one of our Deathtouchers hits an opponent. Fynn's ability with trigger twice, giving the player 4 poison counters. It's an incredible way to accelerate our game plan. For a more flexible option, we have the classic Strionic Resonator. For just 2 mana, we can tap it to copy any triggered ability we control, including Fynn's. It's a fantastic tool that can lead to some really explosive turns. Our strategy is about attacking, so we have some really cool utility pieces to make sure our combat steps are as effective as possible. Dolmen Gate is an amazing artifact that prevents all combat damage that would be dealt to our attacking creatures. This means we can swing with our entire team of Deathtouchers without any fear of losing them in combat. It's an absolute game changer to make sure our creatures can attack the turn they come down. The Crashing Drawbridge is a fantastic and budget-friendly option that can give our whole team haste. And for those moments when we just need to get one crucial hit in to finish a player off, Rogue's Passage is a utility land that can make one of our creatures unblockable for the turn, guaranteeing that final dose of poison. To make sure our deck runs as consistently as possible, we have some of the best green tutors in the game. Green Sun's Zenith is incredibly flexible, allowing us to search our library for any green creature and put it directly onto the battlefield. We can use it early to find Mana Dork or late game to find a finisher like Hornet Queen. Natural Order is our big, powerful tutor. By sacrificing a green creature, we can search our library for any green creature, put it directly into play. It's the perfect way to turn a small Mana Dork into a game-ending threat like Vorniclex. And for a really fun and powerful enchantment, we have Defense of the Heart. If an opponent ever has 3 or more creatures on the battlefield, this enchantment will trigger, allowing us to search our library for any 2 creatures, put them directly into play. It's an amazing way to assemble a game-winning combo and establish board presence out of nowhere. Since our strategy relies on having a board of creatures, we need to be able to protect them from our opponent's removal. Luckily, green is fantastic at this. Heroic Intervention is the go-to protect spell, giving all of our permanents hexproof and indestructible for the turn, saving us from almost any board wipe. Veil of Summer is an amazing 1 mana instant that protects us and our permanents from blue and black spells, and it even draws us a card if an opponent has cast a spell of that color. And to make sure our key creatures resolve in the first place, Allosaurus Shepherd is an incredible way of incredible 1-drop that makes all of our green spells uncounterable. It even has the powerful late game ability to turn our elves into dinosaurs. To keep our aggressive plan going, we need to keep our hand full of threats, and we have some amazing card draw engines to do just that. Sylvan Library is a classic powerhouse, allowing us to see the top 3 cards of our library each turn and draw the best ones at the cost of a little life. The Beast Whisperer is a fantastic creature-based engine that draws us a card every single time we cast a creature spell. With so many cheap creatures in our deck, this can quickly refill our hand. And for a truly relentless source of card draw, there is Toski, Bearer of Secrets. This indestructible squirrel attacks every turn and draws us a card whenever any of our creatures deals combat damage to a player. It's an amazing engine that our opponents will have a hard time dealing with. Last but not least, let's talk about some of our awesome utility lands. Karn's Bastion is a fantastic piece of our Proliferate package, allowing us to pay 4 mana to add another poison counter to each of our opponents. Yavimaya, excuse me if I pronounce that wrong, Yavimaya Cradle of Growth is a great utility land that turns all of our other lands into forests, which can be really helpful for some of our spells. The new Bosiju Who Endures, Bosiju Who Endures is an amazing piece of interaction on a land, allowing us to deal with a problematic artifact, enchantment, or non-basic land. And for a burst of explosive mana, Ancient Tomb can tap for 2 colorless mana at the cost of 2 life, helping us cast our bigger spells a turn or 2 ahead of schedule. And that's our look at Fynn the Fangbearer. As you can see, this deck is just an absolute blast to play. It's aggressive, it's unique, and it leverages a really cool and underutilized mechanic in Deathtouch to create a powerful and consistent win condition. If you love turning small creatures sideways and watching your opponent's life totals, or in this case, their poison counters quickly spiral out of control, I really think you'll love and have a great time playing this deck. What are your favorite Deathtouch creatures for Fynn deck? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.